guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. This week we're going to talk about something a little bit unique, but I definitely think it's something that can impact some or all of us, especially as time allows. And basically what it is are specialized screws that are copyrighted and trademarked so that you and I can't work on our own vehicles. That might sound incredibly crazy, but BMW actually just filed a patent for some screws, and I'm going to post a picture of it right here. And they basically have the head of the BMW logo, or the head of the screw or the bolt is going to have the BMW logo kind of embedded or etched in or whatever it is. So it's going to take a specialized screwdriver. You won't be able to use your standard Phillips or flathead. Potentially they might be round like this, so you can't necessarily use a socket set. They're going to do everything they can to keep you and I from working on or modifying our own vehicles, which is really job security for the dealerships. There will always be workarounds. You know, there's going to be guys that will be able to manufacture, 3D print even their own set of tools that will work on this kind of stuff. But it is a fascinating concept, and really, it doesn't surprise me. At the end of the day, it does not surprise me. These manufacturers are losing market share to a lot of these aftermarket part companies that, you know, you can buy a cold air intake and bolt it on at home, right? You don't need to go to the dealer for a lot of this stuff. And in fact, it's oftentimes a real expensive endeavor to go to the dealership. So what'll end up happening, in my opinion, is all auto manufacturers will likely go to something incredibly similar to this. So that, is essentially the topic I wanted to visit about with you guys today. This is a really simple and quick episode. I don't think there's much to exhaust here. BMW is the first to patent these particular types of bolts and screws, but it's coming. I really think it's coming, and I think that all auto manufacturers are going to see this, and it may be a huge failure. It's a very expensive endeavor because now they have to machine all these specialized parts that essentially have their logo exclusively to them. And what's crazy about that, and this is kind of the path I want to go down, this is what my mind went when I first read the article. Think of companies like Volkswagen, right? They're the parent company of a number of auto brands, including Lamborghini, Audi, right? Bugatti's under there somewhere. There are some very unique and specific branded automobiles that you know really could share a lot of parts. I think about my Audi, my R8 shares a ton of Lamborghini parts, and vice versa, right? Lamborghini uses a lot of Audi parts. They're a little bit less expensive to not have that Lamborghini logo on there. So think of silly things, right? Like, I don't know, fuel pump, right? It's buried. You're never going to see it. So quite frankly, Lamborghini doesn't care if it has the Lamborghini logo or the Audi logo. I've seen Volkswagen symbols on Audis. I've seen, you know, all these cross-branded parts. And if all of a sudden my Lamborghini uses an Audi part or my Audi uses a Lamborghini part, and I have to have a specialized tool, that makes it really challenging, right? It makes it real hard for somebody who is an ordinary guy with ordinary tools to do an ordinary job. It's actually quite frustrating, but I digress. I guess where I was going with that is these brands command a premium for their products, so I understand where they're coming from. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it's quite annoying. But again, I can't blame them. If it's my product and I see people not utilizing me for the servicing or, you know, whatever it is, I get it. You know, I want to create kind of a sense of loyalty. And if I can go to the same mechanic to do the same job, the same oil change, the same whatever, because they have the specialized tool, I get familiar with that place. It's not like, I guess a different example would be when I was young and I had, you know, cars that could just go through Jiffy Lube and get an oil change real quick. I wasn't loyal to Jiffy Lube. I'd go to whatever the cheapest, most basic oil change place was, because I was trying to save some money, right? If I could get a $20, like a $19.99 oil change coupon, I'm there, right? Like I'm going to go to that place. But if I drive a high-end BMW, M5 or something like that, and now all of a sudden I can't just go to Jiffy Lube because they probably don't have the tools that they might need to remove the engine covers, to get to the oil filter, and then to put, new oil in. Maybe it requires a different tool to get a different part off. And, now that they've patented this BMW screw, to take it to another level, they could size that up and down. They can scale that logo bigger or smaller depending on the size of the screw or the bolt. So a shop may have to have a set of like 8 or 10 different sized BMW heads now to utilize anything, right? To do any work on these vehicles might require a much more sophisticated set of tools. And again, your flathead and your Phillips screwdrivers are not going to do the trick anymore. Your standard socket set may not do the trick anymore. Some car manufacturers got a little tricky when they started using like Torx bits and those kind of things. You still find those on occasion, and they're not as hard to find. I mean, you can go to any tool store and buy a set of Torx bits, T whatever it is through T whatever it is. I want to say it's like 5 to 50 or something like that. But, they're those little star bits. And there's even variations of that certain manufacturers will utilize. But for the most part, things are pretty standard, right? You've got your metric measurements, your standard measurements. You've got, whatever. It's crazy that these companies are trying to get unique enough and remain relevant enough to specialize a part. So that's really all I had for you guys this week. I do want to know your thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you think it makes sense? I think they look cool. I really do. But do you think it makes sense? Do you think it's necessary? My argument's it's not. It's not necessary. I think what they're doing is they're getting a little greedy and they're trying to bring back some of that business and kind of screw over the little guy, the guy who doesn't want to go buy a set of tools just to change his oil or just to do whatever. And so I don't like that. I think it's kind of manipulative, but I get it. I understand where they're coming from. And again, if it's my company, I probably do something similar because you got to stay in business. You've got to be relevant. And the more interactions you can have with that consumer, honestly, the more front of mind or top of mind you are. So I get it. I do. I don't like it, but I get it. I do want to know your thoughts. So comment down below and let me know, is this something that you think is coming? Is this something you've seen before? Have you ever experienced something like this? I have not. And we've had BMWs. I've never seen that before. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and most importantly, remember, may every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.